Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Luke Setzer, team of one, and I'm here to talk to you today about the University of Florida Outreach Engineering Management Program and how to bring its Stone Age instruction methods into the modern world. Let's begin by taking a look at the current OEM timeline. We've got a typical 5-semester program shown, and also some foundational pre-work that includes an application, pre-work in linear algebra and statistics, and during semester 1, some pre-work in the essentials of accounting. Now, given the current dropout rate of 9% over 5 semesters, we have to ask ourselves, what is wrong with this picture? Testimonials typically reflect positive bias. The GRE gives no clear idea of what to expect. Preparation pre-work relies on obsolete hard copy methods. Preparation pre-work begins after admission. The timeline, in short, bears a similarity to engagement and marriage before courtship. As you might expect, a mismatch between faculty expectations and student abilities results in domestic disturbances in the form of curving. And you can expect a higher divorce or withdrawal rate of students from OEM as a result. In short, the curving and withdrawal rates call for a new philosophy for admissions, which I call courtship before commitment. Anyone who's ever been involved in a bad relationship can talk about the horrors of that relationship. Likewise, a bad relationship between student and OEM can turn into a B-grade horror movie, The Program That Ate My Time. According to the OEM website, the student success rate, 91%, is very high. When students withdraw from the program, it is almost always because of impacts from career or family obligations, not because of academic reasons. Now, why is that? Bottom line is that this program is extremely intense and can be compared analogously to drinking water from a fire hose. And when you find yourself unprepared to drink water from a fire hose, you can make some very unexpected trips to the financial toilet. When students quit OEM, the result is lost money for UF, lost money for students, lost credibility, lost opportunities, and bad feelings on all sides. What to do? For starters, let's look at some metrics and goals for OEM performance. In a perfect world, we'd have a class size of 56, an overall class GPA of 3.4 to 3.7, each transcript grade of a B or better, a retention rate of 100%, and no curving. So the question is how to achieve these goals all with no changes to the live program. Well, we can use a quality improvement program that has been proven time and again, called The Theory of Constraints, from Eliyahu Goldratt and his novel The Goal, which includes a 5-step process. Identify the system's constraints. Decide how to exploit the system's constraints. Subordinate everything else to the above decision. Elevate the system's constraints. And finally, heed this warning. If in the previous steps a constraint has been broken, go back to step 1, but do not allow inertia to cause a system's constraint. Let's look at steps 1 and 2. Identify and exploit the constraints. Bottom line is that the dropouts cannot handle the throughput of the work due to constraints on their total life system resources. Those are time constraints, energy constraints, and knowledge constraints. Of those three, knowledge represents the one bottleneck that affects the others. A greater knowledge of the program's content before starting would influence the decision even to apply. And, once in the program, greater knowledge of how to approach difficult material leverages faster and better results under the same time and energy constraints. So the question becomes, How do we go about increasing intellectual excess capacity to handle all this throughput? Answering that question would lead to an answer to step 3, subordinate everything else to the above decision, and step 4, elevate the system's constraints to manage the whole system. So, recent technology and online tools can help to increase the throughput capacity and excess intellectual capacity of the mind. For example, My Math Lab. Student grades on homework soared from an average of 58% to 83% with My Math Lab, according to University of Missouri at Columbia. And from Valencia Community College, success rates A, B, or C rose from 71% to 84% after they switched to My Math Lab. So it warrants looking at this online education more closely to see what we can learn. Lessons from online learning can come from varied places such as the granddaddy of all of them, Phoenix University, as well as more recently, Brevard Community College in Cocoa, Florida. And these relevant courses, which bear the same content as OEM, will give us some lessons for increasing that excess intellectual capacity. Let's begin with finite mathematics. This course is normally taught at the undergraduate level at various business colleges and covers a wide range of topics extremely relevant to OEM, such as linear equations, matrices, linear programming, graphical method, simplex method, mathematics of finance, probability, statistics, and integral calculus. And this is a standalone course, completely self-contained. It includes interactive problems, step-by-step solutions, an e-textbook, streaming videos, animations, and many, many examples from which to learn. And by doing some of these problems before applying, applicants can learn the nature of the material they'll be learning once they get into the program. So one possible suggestion is to simply require applicants to do some of these problems as part of the application. And for a low cost of $34.95 paid directly to mathexcel.com, they can do this. For those who want to resist this technology, beware the fate of the dinosaur, and heed these words of wisdom from Andrea Reese at Brevard Community College. You can resist the shift towards technology, but as an educator, you will eventually get replaced, especially since the people becoming teachers are of the technology generation. This leads to a set of recommendations. First, consider applications after applicants complete the finite mathematics competency demonstration. Second, continue the precedent of pre-work after admission, but using online assignments. Give waitlist applicants the same pre-work before semester 1 as admitted students, and rearrange the pre-work schedule for broader preparation and capacity growth before each semester to remove those knowledge bottlenecks. The benefits of the recommendations include allowing applicants to court the material and material to court applicants before any long-term commitment between student and OEM. Screens from consideration those unwilling to court for commitment, thus reducing domestic disturbance, curving, and divorce withdrawal rates. Keeps the waitlist applicants fully prepared to replace early dropouts on the fly, and continues preparation and capacity growth well into program for successful processing of throughput to completion of program. So here is the proposed OEM timeline, and we'll examine these step by step in the succeeding slides. Statistics pre-work prior to semester 1. Financial accounting pre-work prior to semester 1. Managerial accounting pre-work prior to semester 2. And managerial finance pre-work prior to semester 3. Sample bottom line improvements that can come from these changes. If you retain 2 students the last 2 semesters, the bottom line gross revenues grow by $22,360. Retaining 3 students the last 3 semesters explodes that growth in revenue to $49,020. The additional cost of the program is nothing because the students pay for these courses. And for the students, their additional cost totals to only $150, which can ensure their completion of the $27,000 graduate degree program. All this brings us to Theory of Constraints Step 5, the warning. If in the previous steps a constraint has been broken, go back to Step 1, but do not allow inertia to cause a system's constraint. Once these changes have been implemented, if knowledge constraints continue to remain a barrier to 100% retention, other technologies exist to further ease those knowledge constraints, such as, for instance, Texas Instruments and its ti-nspire computer algebra system, calculator, and software, which can further ease those knowledge constraints by offering what you see is what you get, fully interactive documentation of all their work, and great interaction between teacher and student. And all of it begins, first and foremost, with courtship before commitment. Any questions?